Down Home Up Close is brought to you by...
When you walk into your home, the first thing you come in contact with is your floor. You want it to be reliable and stylish, and you want to be sure you have the right professionals to design and craft it. OC Rugs has you covered. They provide durable products that stand the test of time and custom designs that will fit your aesthetic and preferences. OC Rugs products are constructed to be stable and prevent skidding, so anyone, whether you're taking your first steps or it's your first time visiting, can feel confident getting around your home. OC Rugs features products from Cooper Family Floors, a mobile, family-owned business committed to providing quality floor service at affordable prices. Cooper Family Floors puts the needs of the customer first, always seeking to make each project better than the last. They provide luxury vinyl plank and laminate flooring, as well as carpet and pad, engineering wood, and tile. Cooper Family Floors has a combined 42 years of flooring experience and will put that wisdom to work for you without breaking the bank. Whether you need a new floor installed in your home or the right rug to complete your perfect design plan, OC Rugs and Cooper Family Floors will get the job done right. Visit OC Rugs at their Lancaster showroom, located at 1920 North I-35E, or visit their website at www.ocrug.com. For Cooper Family Floors, call 214-437-7424 or visit www.cooperfamilyfloors.com.
Waxahachie ISD is a growing school district that embraces innovative curriculum and teaching methods while still honoring our traditions of excellence. Our academic programs and exceptional teachers and staff allow every student to excel on every campus, every day. Waxahachie ISD's fine arts, athletic, career and technical education, and other extracurricular programs are respected throughout the state for their long histories of success. We are proud to be a vital part of the city of Waxahachie as we work hard each day to educate the next generation of our city's leaders. We are Hatchie Forever. Roll Tribe.
Hey, Ellis County, I'm Amy Troll, and we are here in the studio with Kevin Crouch. He is the newest member of our team, and we're just so excited to have him join us. And he's already been providing just incredible weather coverage to the county for years, and it's just been super fun to have you with us. And so we thought it would be a fun idea, beginning of the year, to kind of have a little backstory from each one of our team. And so Kevin's the first one to go. We will also have an interview with our sports guru, Tater Beard, from Midlothian, and I will do one as well, and probably my son Jackson too, because he is never on camera, but he's oftentimes behind the camera. Yeah. So we're just going to kind of take some time to let y'all get to know us a little bit better. And so Kevin's first. So welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be on this side of the camera for a little bit.
Yeah. So we really wanted to just kind of dive in and get an overview of Ellis County weather. Why, tell us, how you came about, why you do what you do, and just anything that you think the public would be interested in knowing.
Yeah, so Ellis County Weather started really as an experiment back in October of 2015 as a Twitter page. I've been into weather since I was very little. The earliest evidence of that I've found that's written down is literally a tornado picture I drew when I was like 6. Mm-hmm. And so long history there, but with the advent of social media, it became possible to put the information that people were asking me for, because before social media was texting, and I would get bombarded with text messages from people asking me, what is this storm going to do? So I created this Twitter page so that I could just kind of put everything in one spot and not get 20 text messages every time a warning was issued. Mm-hmm. So to me, it just seemed like a easy way to put the information out there. Yeah. In December of 2015, there was the tornado that started just off the runway, almost at Midway Airport, moved on to the northeast up through Glen Heights, that area. And that Twitter page was bombarded asking for information.
Yeah, that was a scary time.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even home. I was at my parents' house celebrating Christmas, pardon me, for trying to, enjoy something. And so the rush of trying to post information, and there's only so much you can do with Twitter. Back then it was like 120 characters, so I'm trying to do this much with that, and so I was very limited, and so I very quickly moved over to Facebook to kind of spread my legs a little bit and actually get a little more room and obviously a bigger following, and it just kind of exploded from there. And since then, I've been able to go over to YouTube and put some video content there, and people are able to watch on their TV, if they want to, and that sort of thing. So over the past 6 years that I've been doing it, coming up on 7 years now, it's just been more and more exploration and trying things out and trying to kind of adjust with the way things go. But the whole thing started just as a small kind of experiment and hobby on my part.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about you personally. Like you're from here.
Yeah.
You're my cousin.
Yeah.
In case y'all didn't know that.
Yeah.
We are first cousins.
Right.
His mom and my dad are brother and sister. So obviously we go way back.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the earliest our family was in Ellis County was 1850.
Yeah.
And we may, talk more about that at some point. Who knows? But very deep roots in this area, in the western parts of Ellis County, and so those communities, those places like Great House, Boz, 5 Points, and Nina and Howard, and all these little bitty communities that don't really appear on most maps, are important to me because these are places where I grew up. I spent a lot of time.
Yeah.
And so having grown up here, there's not a lot of people my age that have stayed in Ellis County this long, or some of us have come back after we went to the big city and decided that was not really our speed. But for me, I just have a passion for this community that I'm so deeply rooted in. And for one, I know the geography. That's half the battle when you're dealing with weather, is being able to tell where things are happening. I'm as big a nerd as I look. I think in order to be this into science, you have to be at least a little bit of a geek. I could talk about Star Wars for a day and a half and not stop and not get tired of it. I have a wife and a 6-year-old son. I've got another boy on the way. I love animals. There's a lot to me, but I'm definitely a passionate enough guy that you have to be careful when you get me started talking about something weather related, because I may not stop.
Yeah.
Brevity has never really been my gift, but I just seem to have these instincts for communication and for technology and for reconciling those things and putting those together with apparently my weather-related instincts that have been there for a long time.
Yeah.
That just combined with knowing these communities well enough to know what kind of information they're looking for, and why it's so important to have such micro level local coverage.
Well, just in the few months that you've been on our team, I've noticed just your knack for technology, like you're saying, and you always want to be current. You always want to kind of at least research, the newest toys and the gadgets, and see how we can incorporate them here, for our video productions. But also that is for sure helping, your weather production as well.
Sure.
And so I can attest that, you are always looking for the newest and the latest and ways you can incorporate that so that it only enhances your weather coverage, so that these Ellis County residents are as safe as possible.
Yeah.
In severe weather situations.
Absolutely.
So so speaking of severe weather, give us kind of a day-to-day or a day, day in the life of Kevin Crouch with Ellis County Weather. Like, you've got maybe some severe weather looming, so take us kind of through what your process is, your setup, what all goes into that. Because, so many people, we only get you when, Ellis County Weather is live.
Right, exactly.
And so we click on that, and we get to really have a lot of peace of mind in knowing that you're watching the skies for us. But there's probably a lot more that goes into that. So tell us about that.
So, the day starts, getting the family taken care of, and kind of emptying out the house, if you will, because, I do mostly work at home, and that is every bit as challenging as people have said. There's a lot more people doing that now with the pandemic, and they found out, it's hard to work from home because you've got a million and one things going on in addition to your job. So, starting the day with, getting the family taken care of, getting their needs taken care of, then getting my needs taken care of, which usually just means coffee. There's a lot of that involved.
Yeah.
But so getting that cup of coffee going, I wake up and just kind of check the forecast and the area forecast discussion, for example, from the National Weather Service, which is the very wordy, very detailed, kind of readout of here's what we're thinking, here's what we see coming. So just checking that, the Storm Prediction Center, what their thinking is, and seeing what the models are saying, and so much of it is communication from different parts of the apparatus between the National Weather Service and even sometimes what some of the Dallas stations are saying.
Yeah.
It's all just getting everyone thinking out there to see what the consensus is. People talk a lot online about this model says this model says that, and especially in the winter right now, it's just, people see one model that's going to dump 12 inches of snow somewhere, and that turns out to be the outlier that we don't even pay attention to.
Yeah.
But you can see, I try to gather all of that information together to try to see, okay, how does all of that come together to A, say what we generally think is going to happen, and B, how does that relate to Ellis County? Because so much of weather is on a large scale, but then I have to figure out how best do we bring that down to our level.
Yeah.
So that's when I'll kind of start to get my mind around what's happening. And usually I'll start the day with social media posts of, hey, here's what we're thinking. I'll put the graphic of the forecast out there, because as much as I want to focus on that day, and a lot of times I do, people are thinking, okay, what's going to happen this weekend? I've got a birthday party, I've got whatever. So I kind of try to give as much of a big picture look as I can, and then through most of the rest of the day, if we're lucky, then I have a full day to kind of assess the situation, and then storms usually come in late afternoon, evening, that sort of thing. So a lot of the time, it's just watching through the day to see what the trends are.
Yeah.
There are a lot of days where I can be, we can be talking all morning about here's what we think is going to happen, and it's so much of a waiting game. And it's just watching to see, okay, does this dry line on the timeline that we think it is? Okay, now the cold front, it's almost like seeing if the different ingredients are going to act the way you think they will. And then obviously it's adjusting your thinking through the day.
Right.
And then when those first storms start to pop up, usually out west, it's just watching those storms to see what their trends are. Really, it's almost like watching living beings to see what their behavior is and see how they react to certain things. And then also through the day, it's making sure that my equipment is set. The things that I need are ready to go. It's checking with family to make sure they know that I'm going to be busy, or if there's things we need to schedule out or reschedule or whatever, it's doing those things. There's so much of a meld with personal life, especially because Ellis County Weather is a one-person operation. It's not like a Dallas station where they've got 5 or 6 people that are all kind of shifting this through.
Yeah.
So the storms get closer, and I'm kind of letting people know, okay, they're a couple counties away. Here's timing. That's what everybody wants to know, right? What time is going to be here? So there's also kind of assessing those things. And then finally, they are knocking on our county door, and I, really start making the final touches on the live stream, make sure everything is ready to go, and then we're live.
All right. Good evening, Ellis County. This is Kevin Crouch with Ellis County Weather.
That is a lot. And so I think, I'm sure people just don't really know how early, how, hours before a storm is even, here, or almost here, that you're already watching it, and you're studying those patterns and seeing what the different projections are, and just wanting to be as accurate as possible. So
I can remember a time, one day. In fact, I think it was the day that the tornado just this past year went through southern Waxahachie, almost towards the Forston area. The first half of the day, we really didn't think a whole lot was going to happen, and then right around noon, 1 o'clock, things all of a sudden started to look a little different, and the severe weather threat really started to escalate. So kind of went from just a routine, casual, just kind of see how things go day to, okay, we've really got something on our hands. So, and then sometimes the opposite happens. We think that everything is just set to go, and then one small variable happens, and there's nothing. And I spent an entire day preparing for nothing, but that means I get an evening off, So, all of it is just being prepared for whatever might happen.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, so what does 2022 have in store for Ellis County Weather? Like, what are your, what are some goals you have, that you're looking to see come to fruition? What can we look forward to this year?
So a lot of what I do on a regular basis is I'm constantly seeing if there's technology that's better than what I have now. There are a few things on the radar program I run, which is 90% of the live stream. That's what people are watching. That's what people want to see, is where is the storm in relation to where they live. There are a few tools that have been introduced on that's going to make severe weather coverage much more interesting this year and much easier to tell people on a very local level, here's when things are going to impact you.
Even down to like the tiny communities.
Right.
Yeah.
And now that I'm doing Ellis County Weather on a much more full-time basis, it's going to be easier for me to post throughout the day. Here's the latest thinking. Here's what we're looking at. I have a much closer working relationship with the National Weather Service and some of these other individuals and agencies that go into that decision-making process, and some of these other minds that it helps to communicate with. So I'm able to focus on that more. And so I think that for severe weather season, which I know is what people usually pay attention to Ellis County Weather for, it's going to be more detailed. It's going to be more, I think it's going to be more focused for sure, and it's going to be more, it's just going to be more, I've expanded my operation over to TikTok a little bit, I'll be able to be in the field a little more. Recently, we've covered a few cold fronts coming in and being able to show, like, I'll go out and I have an observation spot that gives me a great open space on a hill, so I can feel the wind patterns and those kind of things, and we can watch the temperature change. And so I'll be able to do some of that, get out there, and we have the video segments that we've been doing. And recently I haven't been able to be out there as much due to a number of different things. I'm hoping to be much more involved in the public as well. Unfortunately, one of the things, COVID is really widespread right now. I mean, the number of people I know impacted by it is just astounding. And so hopefully, as we get into the spring and other parts of the year, maybe that will subside a little bit. I'm hoping to get back to speaking in schools and having those public events, those meet and greets, because I'm behind a computer. I don't get to interact with anybody. Kind of a lonely business. And so that's...
there are other weather nerds out there.
Right. I'm not the only one. Right. So there's people that I want to meet. There's people I want to talk to. Relationships I want to build.
Sure.
And some of the Dallas meteorologists, the guys in the Dallas media market, they haven't been in schools in a long time either. So that's one of the things that we really enjoy, is getting to go into those schools and impact those lives. So I'm hoping to do some of that, and maybe we'll have another Twister screening at some point, but that's really one of the bigger things that I'm hoping to accomplish in 2022. And I'm working on a new website right now. So if you go to elliscountyweather.com, it's not the little link tree with just a bunch of buttons there now. There's actually a website there, so I'll be making improvements to that as well.
Great.
And working with the Waxahachie Sun to bring more content there, and Ellis DownHome as well, to kind of bring in the weather perspective, if you will. So just more content-rich stuff, but also stuff actually in real life instead of just being limited to a computer.
Awesome. Sounds great. Well, thank you so much for everything you do, and just for the way you serve our community, the county, all of the communities in Ellis County, the big, the small, and everybody in between. We just really appreciate your dedication to the information that you put out there and to our safety. Just really appreciate you so much. So is there anything else you want to say before we sign off?
couple of things. First, I don't know if we're going to get another winter apocalypse this year. It's hard. Those are such unprecedented events. Just like the major tornadoes we saw go through Tennessee and Kentucky and Missouri and Arkansas, recently, that there's no way to really forecast those things this early out. I mean, that was February. Usually that's our coldest month.
Yeah. Right
around early to mid-February, is when we have our best chance usually of getting some snow or that kind of thing. But there's no way to know this far out. And as a tie to that, I would say the second thing is be wary of social media weather pages. And I know that's rich coming from me, but there are so many of those pages that are there to get attention, and they are right. They're bought into the social media game of I want the most likes, I want the most clicks, I want this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And so be careful of those places, because when we talk about weather models, I mean, you can find a model that's usually going to say what you want it to say at some point or another, right? What makes the difference is how you use those. You have to use those appropriately. You have to understand that you can have one model that says it's going to dump 12 inches of snow and the world is going to come to an end. Especially in Texas, we don't know how to prepare for that. But yet you can have one where it's going to say this cold front's going to miss us completely, and it's like we're not even going to know anything was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But what you have to do is, one, watch what the consensus is over the 5 or 6 models that we monitor, but also over time watch and see what the common solution is. So just be careful when you're sharing a post or something like that. Watch the verbiage. If there's a lot of, I use the word uncertainty or certainty a lot, because I think that portrays, this is what we're thinking, but we're really not sure, versus the places that are putting stuff in all caps, and saying things like, winter apocalypse.
Snow is coming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, there was one graphic I saw from a YouTube weather page today. It was like OMG over a model, and I'm like, I don't even want to pay attention to that because I know what it's like.
Don't even give them a click.
Exactly. So just when you're following social media pages, and hold me accountable, if you see it from me, hey, call me. Call me out on it and let me know, if it seems like I'm getting into the likes and that kind of thing, because that's not what it's about. It's all about policing that content and making sure that what you're following has your interests and is trying to keep you informed, as opposed to just trying to get you to play that game. So just, be smart about what content you're following, and just don't get bought into the hype, because it can really lead to a lot of frustration in the end.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, that's great advice. Probably across the board on the internet.
Well, generally yes, but
it's it's a hot mess,
and it's just a big pet peeve, when they publish something crazy like that and it gets everybody's hopes up.
Yeah.
And then it's the boring guys like us that end up getting the blame, right? Because,
right.
We didn't end up getting the snow day that everybody wanted. So,
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, thanks for being with us.
Sure. Thank you.
And, I'm sure we'll be checking back in with you from time to time.
I'll be there
throughout the year. And if you're not following Ellis County Weather on Facebook and YouTube and TikTok, and
I'm pretty much everywhere.
Twitter.
If you go to elliscountyweather.com, it's got all the kind of links there. That's really the best place kind of to find everything. But I will say, if you like the live streams, go follow those on YouTube. The quality is usually a little bit better. It's easier to put it up on your TV and kind of get a big screen view of everything.
Sure.
Like I say, this spring I think we'll have better quality on some of those things. But usually the live stream is what most people follow for. So make sure you're subscribed on YouTube, because that's where the best quality is.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, y'all take care, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.